Hello and welcome to another episode of MacStories Unwind. I'm John Voorhees and I have Federico Vitici with me. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. It's the weekend, finally. And
It's the weekend. I just went off and saw our good friend Mike. And if listeners remember who Mike is the
Big
person.
Mike. Yes.
Big Mike. Big Mike has been the person who's sent off many a cable and other gizmos to Federico, including the Vision Pro and the whole saga of it getting stuck in Cincinnati because, you know, customs, they take a look at things. Customs,
I had forgotten that.
Even pre-tariff days in the U.S., customs like to look at things a little more closely when they cost as much as the Vision Pro did. But anyway, Mike, I haven't seen Mike a lot lately because I haven't been sending Federico things. But I had to return my iPhone 16 Pro Max because I do the annual upgrade program. And so the cardboard box was delivered by UPS yesterday, and I ran out and dropped it off with Mike and said hello and chatted a little bit because it seemed like a slow Friday at his shop. I hope that the tariffs aren't hurting his business too badly because I can tell you that I have thought about the fact that if I send you something now, it may be that the customs on it costs more than whatever I'm sending you. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, you haven't shipped me anything in a while.
No, well, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to buy something, I guess. And also,
I was thinking about this a few days ago.
yeah.
In some respects, I have settled on the hardware that I use,
Yeah, I
but
guess you have.
but I've been fiddling around more with software. I feel like software as, scratching that itch.
Yeah,
I'm always a curious person, but with the hardware, really since I got the gaming PC, there's been a lot of consolidation lately. This
Right.
year, and maybe we'll do a sort of a this kind of reflections episode toward the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a
But
good idea.
but a takeaway that I think I had is that it took me a long time, but I finally accepted that I'm the kind of person who has like this split workflow, some on the Mac, some on the iPad. I can do it all on the iPad if I want to, but I also enjoy working on the Mac. And it took me a long time to accept that because, I was the iPad guy. But, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
at
we'll
the
talk
end
about
of the
that
year.
later. But I hear you on the software too, though, because I've actually always been more of a software person than a hardware person. I get more excited about the apps that are coming every fall than I do even about the iPhone hardware. Maybe that'll change next year if there's a foldable phone. But as much as I like this year's phones and all the other stuff that's been released already, I get more excited about the apps. I just really do. So
Yeah. Anyway, that's a topic for the future.
it is. I have follow-up, Federico.
Okay.
Last week we talked about how John was going to unwind after the reviews.
Is this gonna be sad?
It's going to be a little sad. It didn't go quite as planned. First of all, I was just tired, but Saturday I decided, as the review season ended, I was like, it's time to go get my flu shot and a COVID vaccine. And especially since with everything going on in the US, I felt like sooner was better than later because it might become harder to get over time. So I made an appointment. I went on Saturday. They gave me both shots and I was fine. I felt fine. But the next day I was really tired, like profoundly tired. And so I just pretty much lied around all day. Didn't really do much of anything. I played a little Donkey Kong, but not a ton. And then I got an ear infection like a little kid, which I actually had one about, 8 months ago. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the AirPods in my ears when I fell asleep on them during the review process or something.
Yeah, you gotta stop doing that, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's not good. I don't do it that often, but I have found that when I have done it, I've woken up and my ear has been a little irritated, and I think that probably had something to do with it. So, and Jennifer's certainly not going to let me fall asleep with them anymore because she's absolutely convinced that that's what caused it. So, she'll keep me out of trouble. But that's just follow up. I have another question for you. I keep hearing people say that you don't have to worry about your Apple Watch charging because all you have to do is put it on the charger when you take a shower in the morning and then you're fine. And I don't know, maybe I just take very short showers.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the length of the shower. right?
It does, but I mean, especially with the Ultra, it takes if you're really low, if your battery's really low, it takes a long time to charge that thing up, like hours,
There are
not minutes.
there are some variables here. You gotta have one of the latest fast chargers for the Apple Watch, right?
Yeah.
So that hinges on that. But also, the real question is showering for you a functional thing, or do you also take meditative showers? Because I sometimes do. Sylvia sometimes finds me just in the shower under the hot water,
Right.
just standing there and thinking,
Thinking. Yeah, a little bit, but not really. Mostly functional. Mostly,
That's why.
pretty
That's why.
quick. Still, Federico,
Yeah.
you need to charge the watch are you in there for an hour?
No, not an hour.
Okay.
Not
Are
an
you in there
hour.
for half an hour? I think most people
No,
probably
15
are
to-
not in
15
there.
when it's a long one, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. Now, I've taken 15, 20 minute
Yeah.
showers. I don't do it every day, but I still don't think that's enough time. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Probably not. Probably. But if it's a 15-minute shower and then, you got to dry off.
Yeah,
and
I know.
then
You still have to get dressed. You still
You
have to.
put on your body lotion, your moisturizer, and then you get ready, and suddenly it's like 45 minutes, and then maybe you did top off the battery at that point.
All right. I guess I don't spend that much time making myself look pretty in the morning. So
Yeah, enough about.
there's
enough
only so
about-
much you can do with this.
Yes. I gotta put on my beard oil, and
yes.
I have my little beard brush. It's a whole thing.
That's the whole thing. That's all.
Enough about our shower routines, John. I
Yeah.
wanna mention my pick for Unwind this week.
Okay.
It's an old game, really old game. It's
Yeah.
Portal
Really?
by Valve, but Portal with ray tracing. So this is
Huh.
called Portal with RTX. Came out last year, which tells
Is it
you
like
a
an
lot.
official? Is it an official thing?
Yes, sir. Came out
Oh.
last year, which says a lot about my video game backlog.
I didn't
But,
realize it.
I finally had the time to play 6 or 7 levels today. So Portal with RTX is a collaboration between NVIDIA and Valve. They basically took the old game, the classic Portal game, not Portal 2, Portal 1. They took Portal 1 and reimagined it with it's the one of the latest NVIDIA technologies. It's called RTX Remix, which is a whole thing that allows also game models to apply ray tracing, or they sometimes call it full ray tracing, also known as path tracing. It's like fancy ray tracing, essentially.
I think I vaguely remember when this was announced. Yeah.
So this is a free DLC for Portal on Steam. You gotta own the original Portal.
Oh,
but
I have the original one.
Yeah, the original Portal was made free by Valve on so many different occasions in the past, and at some
Yeah.
point I added it to my library.
Sure.
So you can just go in there and download Portal with RTX. And let me tell you, John, it looks incredible. Like what I found was fascinating about Portal with
Interesting.
RTX is that you can take an old game that doesn't really have a particularly fascinating artistic direction, right? It's like it's a 3D game.
Right.
But if you massage the textures just a little bit and apply frame generation
Yeah.
and apply really good lighting with ray tracing, you can make an old game look absolutely wonderful just with those things alone. It looks incredible.
Oh, I got to try this.
Now, mind you, I have a gaming PC with an NVIDIA 5090.
Yeah.
So I can set all the things to ultra, use
Sure.
path tracing, use DLSS 4. There was an update in 2024 that added DLSS 3.5 with ray reconstruction, which is another thing. And then they added support for DLSS 4 for even better frame generation. So that will what's it called? For the 50 series of GPUs, multi-frame generation, so that for one frame you get 3 out of the GPU or something. It's crazy. But I was playing today, so there was this stage, right? I mean, imagine that every single light source behaves like in real life. So lights reflect, refract, bounce off the walls, any surface. There was this moment where there's this energy sphere that goes up and down from the ceiling to the ground into the portal and then back up. And you're in this room, and the walls of this room are made of metal, and they have like a 3D hexagonal shape. And when this energy sphere made of light goes up and down, you can see the reflections in real time bounce against like this. It's like a polygonal wall, basically.
Yeah.
And when the sphere goes up and down, you can see the reflections bounce off in real time against these like oddly shaped walls. It looks incredible. It looks
that does
incredible.
sound amazing. That's when I think about it now, that game makes a lot of sense for that kind of treatment because it's so much of it is reflective. It's a lot of it is in a metal surrounding.
Yes. You are in a metal surrounding. You have this gun that shoots portals. The portals are made of orange and blue lights.
Right. So it's all like laser type stuff everywhere.
Yes. So it lends itself really well to that sort of treatment. And if you have a relatively modern gaming PC, if you have a 30 series NVIDIA GPU, you can try it. I think it requires a 3060 and minimum, 3080 recommended. If you have a 50 series GPU, you can go nuts.
Have you tried it on handhelds of any kind?
Not yet.
Should be doable. I mean, it's not going to be anywhere near what your gaming PC can do, but I think you could be able to do it. All right, that's pretty cool. I will check it out. So my pick this week is Alien Earth, which is a show on Hulu, which I think I mentioned is one of the things that I was going to follow up on after the review season. And I got a chance to watch a couple of the episodes. There are a total of 8. I think it just finished. And I'm planning to just plow through the rest of this because this is a really great show. It's funny. I saw someone say that, Hulu's finally got their hit series just as Disney's getting ready to kill the service off. And it does kind of feel like that because it's, it's set in the universe of the Alien movies, but the series follows a research ship that crashes back to Earth and releases a bunch of alien specimens. So very much a similar setup to a lot of the movies where you've got these creatures on the loose. But it also explores the fact that on Earth, the Earth is now controlled by 5 giant corporations instead of governments. And so it's got a lot of in that sense, maybe a little of current event type of themes about it. Very post-apocalyptic. There's one company that's taking taking sick kids and putting their psyches, their essence, I guess, into synthetic beings. And they use kids because I guess kids can survive this treatment where adults can't. And so they put them into these synthetic bodies. So you have this weird situation where once they've been transferred, you have this group of synthetics who are basically robots. That is something familiar from the movie series, but they have kind of the emotional development of maybe like a 10 or 12-year-old kid. So they act very much like young kids, not like adults. And it's done really well for a television series with sci-fi. I think they've really captured the atmosphere of those alien movies well in terms of the excitement and the horror and that aspect of it. But it's also very much its own story, which I think works pretty well too. So if you've got Hulu, and I guess Disney Plus, because Hulu's kind of baked in there now, I highly recommend giving it a shot.
Nice. Okay.
I have one last thing, Federico, which is our Unwind Deal. And I want to recommend the Snowpiercer TV series, another sci-fi thing. Now, I watched the original Snowpiercer movie years ago now. I think it was a 2004 movie, maybe, starring Chris Evans. Great movie. And the whole setup is that, again, it's a post-apocalyptic world, but the Earth is frozen. And the only way humanity survives is on these trains that circle the globe constantly. And it's very much a class system where you've got in the first class, you've got the wealthy people, and in the back, you've got all the poor people. And it reminds me a little bit of Silo, where you have this stratosphere of people depending in Silo, it's vertical. Here, it's horizontal as this train moves. And there's all kinds of conflict and things that happen. And the TV show sets up a detective who is investigating a murder in the first class section. Okay. And It's 4 seasons, 40 episodes, $11.99, which is a good deal, and I think worth checking out. I think it critically it hasn't been considered as good as the movie, and I think it suffers a little bit in comparison to the movie. But overall, I think it's kind of a fun sci-fi show if you're looking for something new.
Nice.
So that's the Unwind pick for the week. And that's it for this week's episode, Federico. You can find the two of us over at MacStories.net. Federico and I are on social media. Just look for @Viticci. That's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHNVOORHEES. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.